Hello, everybody. Hello, Broadway besties, and welcome to From the Mezzanine, the Broadway podcast for the Broadway fans, where we talk about all things Broadway news, Broadway grosses, and let's be honest, all of the tea and gossip that happens week to week in the Broadway stratosphere. But today, we are talking about Wicked for Good the entire time. I am so excited to do the ultimate Wicked for Good breakdown with my dear Broadway besties. We are going to get into the nitty-gritty of every song, every character, every beautiful, beautiful moment. And I have seen the movie twice now. I saw it on Monday. Let me tell y'all. Okay, so I was able to attend a media screening and I was so excited because this is what I got to do last year, and I was able to see it the same night as the NYC premiere, actually at the Lincoln Square AMC that's directly across from where the premiere was. So that was pretty pinch me, just knowing I was like in the vicinity of the NYC premiere, just across the street at the much more boring media screening, but nevertheless, like watching it at the same time as them was just, oh my God, thank goodness. I'm gonna probably make so many Wicked references in this here episode, and I'm just so here for it. Let me tell you guys though, next week I will be breaking down the shows that I saw this past week. I saw Spelling Bee. I'm about to see Gruesome Playground Injuries with Cara Young and Nicholas Braun. I saw Two Strangers Carry a Cake Across New York City. I almost said Two Strange Loop. The deep Broadway fans will know that, a strange loop. And so I will be recapping all of that next week on From the Mezzanine. I just needed to hold space this week for Wicked for Good because there is so much to discuss. Whew, I'm so excited. So yes, got to go to that media screening. Let me just say, I love that I got to see it early. I love that they treat the media and press so well because guess what? They want good reviews, and guess what? They're getting one from me, of course. But it's so different than seeing it with like theater people, because theater people in New York are so fun. I just remember when I saw the theater camp movie in New York, like everybody was cracking up, whereas in a media screening, people have their notepads, honey. They are scribbling their thoughts. And that is just not my vibe. Like, no, I'm seeing Wicked for Good for the first time. Like, I'm screaming in my chair. When we see Fiyara's biceps, like, this is where I'm at. And I tried my best not to be disruptive. I really think that at the end of the day, I just was maybe the only like diehard fan in there, me and my Broadway bestie Brim, because guess what? It is so important who you see Wicked for Good with. And we got to see it the exact same day. Like, it was the same day a year ago when we saw part one together at a media screening. Boom, exactly 365 days later, we were seeing Wicked for Good. That is really cool. That is really cool. And it was a great experience, amazing movie go experience. Of course, I would rather have utter silence in that movie theater than like annoying people singing along. And then last night I went and saw it a second time. It was like an influencer screening for Keebler. Shout out the cookies. They have like a Wicked collab, super duper fun. And I saw it with my other dear friend Bailey. And we actually were the ones who traveled to London together to go and see Jonathan Bailey in King Richard. So that was also really cool, like getting to see him again on the screen this time instead of like 5 feet in front of me on a stage. Yeah, like I just really can't put into words how much I love that Jonathan Bailey. And we're going to get into that. We certainly will in this episode today. But to begin, here, let me tell y'all, I'm going to give you my key thoughts, my hot takes, my takeaways at the start, just so like you know what sort of like what I'm thinking generally overall about this movie. Then we are going to go track by track and speak in depth about the songs, the scenes, the big moments, and everything in between. And then we're going to go character by character. So this is a full Wicked dissertation today with your girl on From the Mezzanine. Let's get started. I'm closing my laptop. My general thoughts on Wicked for Good. I love it. Such a beautiful summation for Wicked. I absolutely adored the first Wicked Part 1. And I just remember being really nervous when I went in to see Wicked Part 1, feeling like I just don't know if I'm going to love it. I don't know if I can trust them. And then, of course, I fully give them my trust for Wicked for Good because I loved everything, all of the choices from Wicked Part 1. So going into Wicked for Good, all I was excited. I knew we had new songs. That was the only thing I was a little skeptical of. Like, oh gosh, I hope these new songs are good. Spoiler alert. They are good. They are good. They passed my vibe check. I liked them. But that was the only little thing I was like, okay, that has room for error in these new songs. And I think the new songs work, and I like the moments that these new songs take in Wicked for Good, because I feel like each of them serve as a concentrated moment with Elphaba and Glinda to kind of like take stock and check in with them, see where they're at emotionally. And of course, Elphaba's is a little bit more driving the plot forward in the fact that they've developed this new storyline that's so much deeper than in the musical version of Wicked, of like the animals being cast out of Oz. So, but even so, it's a moment of her coming to a realization that she needs to make movements fast and go overcome the wizard. We are, like I said, we're going to do like a full dissertation on each song. So we will get to that. But overall, I am fine with the new songs. I think they'll grow on me with time. But of course, like the original songs just hit in a way that cannot even be put in words. Okay. Loved. So I was sitting in the theater, feeling really optimistic, feeling really good. And when I left the theater, I was in tears. I was crying. And there will be spoiler alerts in this episode, so I'm letting you know that now. If you have not seen Wicked yet, beware. We are going to be very intricately breaking this down, and I will give some things away. But yes, it did hit me emotionally. It scared me in ways. Generally, I feel like people who jumped on the Wicked bandwagon for Wicked Part 1, and they were like, I've always heard of Wicked. Oh my gosh, I love pink and green and the witch. Oh my gosh, so cute. I think those people who've never probably seen the musical on Broadway and I guess, just general bandwagoners, they just jumped on because it was the hot thing at the time. I can't wait to see what they think about Wicked for Good, because it is dark, honey. It takes us to such a deeper place than Part 1 took us to. And I love that. I love the darkness, but I really think that those bandwagoners might have a rude awakening and might be like, this isn't the sweet, happy-go-lucky musical that I once knew. What happened? Why did they have to make it so dark? I could see that happening. But I, for one, really just loved it. Like, loved. There are some moments that I question. There certainly are some castings or a single casting that I question deeply, and I want to know why the heck it ever happened to begin with. But we will get to that. So I think generally that's kind of all I wanted to communicate before we dive in. But if you're new to From the Mezzanine, I have to give this disclosure. So I have seen Wicked on Broadway 3 times. I have seen it on a national tour twice. I think only twice. So I've seen Wicked on stage a handful of, maybe twice. A handful of 5 times. So I have loved Wicked my entire life. I think I got the CD whenever I was probably like 9 years old, and I have listened to it ever since that day my mom bought it from the store. So, but I spent maybe 7 years just listening to the album, and something happened chemically in my childhood brain where I created the scenes in my head, and I have a really hard time remembering what actually happens in the stage version because I just have such deep memories of envisioning it as a child, and for some reason in my mind that like trumps what I've actually seen in real life. So I'm not going to make like a ton of comparisons to the staged musical. There are obviously a lot of things that I remember from the 5 times that I've seen it, but the intricacies I feel like I just for some reason have this like biological thing that I can't overcome from listening to the album for years and years and just creating the world of Oz in my head. So some things like I just want to say like if I make a comparison to the stage musical that might not like exactly be correct, that's why. Okay, so that's my disclosure. It's so weird. I really want to know if anybody else has this syndrome where like you grew up on something and it became this huge thing to you and you never actually saw how it is in real life, so you kind of like made it all up in your head. And then every time you see it in real life, you're like, wait, that's not how I thought it happened. And it's because of it's not trauma, but like childhood daydreaming, I guess we could call it. So yeah, that's kind of like a unique situation about Wicked for me. But I also think it's like kind of fun and cool. And I realized yesterday, I was like, I should direct Wicked the way that I saw it as a child, in my own little world. Okay, let's get into it. So to start off, guys, that opening scene of Wicked for Good, heart-wrenching. The Oxes are building the yellow brick road. They're being abused. They're shouting at them, do not speak. And she pushes one into the ground. And then who comes to their rescue? But Elphaba, flying from above. She breaks them from their shackles, and basically a war breaks out. Now, this is not in the stage musical. The whole building of the yellow brick road is a newer element they added for the movie version, and I love that they expanded upon that. Really, really creative and just a new plot line that just is heartbreaking. And by the second song, thank goodness, the road is already fully built. So I think in that we kind of get an idea of the amount of time that has spanned from the ending of Wicked Part 1 and the beginning of For Good. They have built the entire yellow brick road. So following that really, really sad opening scene that just kind of like puts you in your feels immediately and sets the tone that this is not going to be as bright and cheery as Part 1. Shit is going awry and it's going downhill, and it's going downhill fast. And then with the beginning of the opening song, they have taken some liberties in a lot of ways. It's very different than the musical version. Every day more wicked, every night a terror grows. And it just sets the tone too that there's a ton of propaganda being strewn about town, literally thrown out of the windows. Love that. And they're like grabbing it from the air. I like that. I like some of the magical elements that make Oz feel like such a magical place, and it's not like we're living in our current world like that. I like it's in the details, like the moments where the people are like shooting their hands up and grabbing the flyer. Like even that little moment is really, really carefully curated and makes it just feel like this mystical place that I really loved that. Of course, Michelle Yeoh sings, air quotes. Guys, this is my biggest grievance. This is without a doubt my number one issue I take with the Wicked movie franchise. Why the hell did we cast Michelle Yeoh? People say it is because Michelle Yeoh has a connection to John M. Chu, and that is why she was in Crazy Rich Asians, and maybe something happened. Apparently she claimed that she couldn't even sing, and I don't want to cast the blame on her, because like who would say no to being cast as Madame Morrible in Wicked, the biggest blockbuster movie of the season? But at the same time, it's like, you've seen the people come before you, Michelle Yeoh. Like, why could we not cast Cheryl Lee Ralph? Can you imagine? There are just so many better options who can actually hold a tune and vibrato. And I'm so disappointed. I knew she would have to shine in Wicked for Good because Madame Morrible sings a lot more in Part 2. But it just was a disappointment after a disappointment, and we're going to get to it, but they literally just cut one of her really big moments in a song. They just cut Madame Morrible's part, probably because she couldn't sing it. That is my biggest grievance I take with the Wicked franchise for sure, is the casting of Michelle Yeoh. Like, I feel like her acting in it is not good either. Like, she there's this one moment where she like walks in. We're already jumping around, but I promise we will make our way through chronologically through this musical. There's like a moment where she walks in and she's like, no, you let Elphaba go. And she says it like she's in a Disney movie. Like, I just really can't. Like, her acting isn't right and her singing isn't right. But you know what? What I do like about her a lot, the costume design on her is beautiful. Shout out Paul Tazewell. So in this opening song, Every Day More Wicked, we have new lines from Glinda and Elphaba, sort of to set the stage, what's developed, and place them. Like Glinda does a little like la la popular moment, and there's a new book choreography, very reminiscent of What Is This Feeling? And they're like, Glinda, you are just so good, something like that. And it's really cute, and I love that. And I love like Bowen Yang. He shoots up his hand and he grabs her pin, super duper cute. Bowen Yang makes me laugh anytime he's on the screen, and he's barely on the screen in Wicked for Good. But that's okay. He's not very important, but what was interesting is his name is very high in the credit scene at the end of the movie, like before Jeff Goldblum. So good for you, Bowen Yang. I hope you got a really good check. Maybe it was just alphabetical, but I don't think it was. But yeah, this is a beautiful opening number. Oz looks stunning. That set design is just incredible. I imagine a lot of that part is CGI because they're like showing all of Oz and how it's been Galindified. There's a lot more pink amongst all of the Emerald City. I love the bullet train is now pink, and they're like putting down these big curtains that have Glinda the Good on it. And I just think visually it's absolutely a stunning, stunning opening number. And we get to see Elphaba in her grotto, and she's singing about like, when I defeat the wizard. Very Wizard and I coded. I like this. I like that they did a little reprise from Wicked Part 1, so we got to hear it and also catch people up who maybe aren't so well versed in what just happened. That was released a year ago. I think that's essential to be done, and I don't mind the additional lyrics, but it does sound altogether like a completely new song, this Everyday More Wicked. So moving on, then we go in to Thank Goodness. Oh, guys, Ariana sounds so beautiful. Another aspect of this musical and this franchise that just I hold so dear, and it honestly makes me turn away from actually a lot of little issues I have with some of the songs and some of the changes and some of the runs that they put in there. One of my favorite things is that they are really singing. They are live tracks. They're in the moment. She's not lip syncing. She is really, really singing in that moment. So certain like runs and things, it might sound a little more popish or like made for commercial use than the Wicked soundtrack typically sounds like. You'll know what I mean? Like, honestly, and thank goodness, I feel like she stays really true to the original song, but Girl in a Bubble is a little bit more popish. And I feel like that's okay because in that moment, if she chose to do this run in that beautiful way, that was what her character was being pushed to feel. And I'm like, okay, I'll take it. It's fine because you're singing live and that's really hard to do and you're really incredible at it. And also, it gives it that musical quality. It's like whenever you're experiencing live theater, whatever they sing is what you hear. So it's kind of the same thing as when you go and see this musical. It's really astonishing that Cynthia, Ariana, and Jonathan Bailey, primarily, they're like our three big powerhouses. It's astonishing that they sang live. And I'm sure there's like some mixing that happens after the fact, but I just was shocked when I heard her sing, Thank Goodness. Like, what a difficult song to sing. And it's truly her vocals. And you can tell too, like the breathing and everything. And like, when people sing, like the veins pop out in their neck. And I'm just astonished in the fact that they made this very like challenging decision of doing live vocals. And for me, it's one of the best choices they made overall in Wicked. I love it so much. And yeah, so now we're back in Munchkin Land, and it's while they're searching for Elphaba. And I love the parallel of part 1 started with the little Munchkin kids running through the flower field. She's dead! She's dead! And now For Good starts with this grown man running through, somebody kill the witch, kill the witch. I love a lot of the parallels between that. Just really beautifully done to sort of bookend both parts. It's just a lot of the details I'm just astonished by. There's just so much thought that has gone in to Wicked, and it makes me as a huge fan so proud of the care that was taken. So Elphaba arrives in her beautiful, oh my gosh, I love that dress, that purple, blue, and light pink dress. It's just so pretty. I love the, I guess you could say tulle detailing on her shoulders. It's beautiful. And then Fiyero is there. They are announcing their engagement. News to him. He has no idea. I love how Michelle Yeoh is. How does it feel, Fiyero, to be looking for the Wicked? Or I guess she just says, how does it feel? And he's like frustrating. And she's like, no, to be engaged. And he like is shocked. And you can tell from the first moment that we see Fiyero there in Munchkin Land that he is determined to find Elphaba and that he's having a really challenging time. Like, you can already see it in his eyes that he is looking for her, not to cause her harm, but because he misses her and he wants to see her and make sure she's okay. And hopefully wants to be with her. I think it's so sweet. I love the moment in Thank Goodness where Fiyero goes off and he's so frustrated because they're like, pure water could melt her. And he's like, please, these people will believe anything that they hear about the Wicked Witch. And so he goes off and they have a private little moment and he says, you know, if it'll make you happy, of course I'll marry you. And it's like, wow, okay. The audience is on board. We're sensing that this isn't truly what he wants. And then he goes to fetch her refreshment. Yeah, right. It has to be noted, guys. I'm a little frustrated. They just cast somebody who couldn't sing. They completely cut out whenever Madame Morrible has her big line of, from the day you were first summoned to an audience of Oz, and although we could not tell you why initially, when you bowed before the throne, he decreed you should be known as Glinda the Good officially. And with a jealous squeal, the Wicked Witch burst from concealment where she had been lurking. Shut up, Tishally. Like, that was completely cut. They just go into, all of Oz will know of your braverism. Boom, cut to Munchkins. I hear she has an extra eye that always remains awake. I hate that. I hate that they cut that. That's such a great moment of how they are gaslighting the people of Oz and spreading this propaganda that's completely false. And it sets the scene. Like, that Madame Morrible herself is at the helm of spreading these falsehoods about the Wicked Witch. It defines why the Munchkins like know all of these like gossipy rumors about the witch that aren't true. It's because Madame Morrible is feeding them to the people of Oz. So I'm sad that they cut that line, and I just feel like they cut it because she couldn't sing it. And I mean, honestly, if they would have kept it in, she probably would have butchered it. So it might be for the best. But anyways, just so annoying. Okay, next, moving on. I love the ending of this song, the fireworks. I love the bubbles that the dancers throw up into the air. It's very beautiful. And then boom, Elphaba appears. Our wizard lies. Madame Morrible, through her magic, changes it to Oz dies. And there's this moment that I still don't know what Jonathan Bailey says, but he sees Elphaba, and to me it sounds like he goes, oh, my job, and jumps on his hat horse and rides away to go and get Elphaba. And I still don't know what he says. But to me, it sounds like he says, oh, my job. Surely that's not the line, right? If you know what he says, like, please let me know. We thought maybe he was saying the name of his horse, but I can't find the name of his horse anywhere online. Surely he doesn't say my job when he sees Elphaba. That would be really bad writing if that's the case. And then he runs off to go and find Elphaba, and Glinda is worried. The Munchkins are running around scared. Yes. I can't exactly remember when this happens, but I absolutely love the cut to, oh wait, it happens whenever, oh, it's at the very beginning, whenever Madame Morrible gives Glinda her wand, and she has this flashback to her childhood. Baby Glinda is so adorable, not a great actor, but she's so cute, and she looks a lot like Ariana. I just love it, and it is a really good foreshadowing of why she wants this power and how badly she wants to be magical. She's at her birthday party, and the kids believe that she made a rainbow appear, and she's like, you know, I love rainbows, and all the kids are like, yay, Glinda! And she has this moment with her mom, and her mom says, you are loved, people love you, and I promise that will be the most important thing that you have. And it just puts it into perspective why Glinda is the way that she is. But it's also just a really cute scene with a lot of really cute little Munchkin kids, and I love the costumes that they have the little Munchkin kids wear. I love it so much. Okay. We catch up with Nessa. Nessa is now the mayor of Munchkinland following her father's death. He died from a broken heart or stressed heart. Not a broken heart. Definitely like died from stress from Elphaba being the Wicked Witch. So Nessa looks so different than part one. Her hair, oh my gosh, is like really ugly. It looks like how Madame Morrible's hair looks in the musical on Broadway. It's just like this ugly updo, and she's like looking very evil in this black dress, which makes sense. She's mourning her father. So the costume change definitely aligns. But at one point, they do have like a flashback to Dancing Through Life. And I'm just like reminded how cute Nessa Rose looked in part one, in her like pink lace dress at the Ozda Ballroom. And her hair was just so cute. And I'm like, damn, they really like made her look horrible now. But it aligned because she's evil. Okay, so Bach comes in. Basically, he's been there for Nessa, but he wants to go see Glinda. And he asks Nessa if he can leave. And when he goes to the train station, he's so cute. He's really excited. And he's like primping himself, looking in the mirror. And then he is told he cannot go and see Glinda. Evil Nessa Rose has restricted all munchkins from leaving Munchkin Land. Horrible. This is really sad. When I first saw that, I wanted to cry because it just felt like things that are happening in our country. And yeah, that was really, really sad. And Bach has to go back to Nessa, and basically he's a slave to her. And there is a moment when he's a slave to her that foreshadows his Tin Man transformation. Spoiler alert. He's cutting wood. That just made me laugh in the theater. I was like, good foreshadowing. I love it. I love foreshadowing, and I love being smart enough to know what foreshadowing is happening. I love it. I love being crazy about Wicked. It's so fun. So next up, we have No Place Like Home. Elphaba is flying over. She hears a ruckus. She goes down. Oh my gosh, all of these very cute animals are running away. They're going to the place beyond Oz because they can't stay there because they're losing their ability to speak and they're losing their rights. Ugh! I hate the wizard. I hate his laws. He's stupid. He's the worst. It's really sad. And then boom, we have an appearance from Dasa Bear. Oh, that tugged on my heartstrings in a big way. And we have our first brand new song, No Place Like Home. It's nice. It's commercial. It hits you over the head with No Place Like Home. But it's cute. I understand why they did it. It's going to be a hit. I like it. I think the way that they did it stylistically is just very adorable with all of the animals, like giving her trust. It's very sweet. And then here comes the Cowardly Lion. Oh, he jumps in. Oh, it's Coleman Domingo. He's so scared. He has his little tail in front of his face, like how the Cowardly Lion does in Wizard of Oz. And he's like, don't trust her. She captivated me when I was just a child. And then she loses the trust of all of the animals, and they still continue to leave. And she's like, I have to do something. I'm going to Nessa. So now when we go back to Nessa, now we're like kind of back on track. Bach is the slave, and Elphaba's like shook. She's like, Nessa, what are you doing? You need to do something about these animals and their rights. And she's like, Nessa's, of course, really mad at Elphaba. I don't need to tell y'all the whole plot. Hopefully, if y'all are watching this, you have, in fact, seen it. But this is a big point of contention in the Wicked universe amongst fans is the Wicked Witch of the East. A lot of people love this song, probably because it was not on the initial soundtrack of Wicked. So now that we have it, people are super lit that they can listen to Wicked Witch of the East on the soundtrack. And being that I grew up with the soundtrack, I don't have that same like fondness for this song, I will admit, but I have heard it on Broadway and I know the moment it is supposed to be, and we just have to face the facts, guys. Marissa Bode, who plays Nessa Rose, is not a very strong singer. I don't believe she's Broadway trained. She just has a very more meek voice than most Nessas do on Broadway. And she's not able to hit the powerhouse vocal notes of I'm the Wicked Witch of the East. She just sounds very young when she sings it. And yeah, I would have rather that moment be like extremely powerful whenever the Tin Man is changing. I love that transformation. I think they did that in a really cool way. I love how like the tin cuff goes around his hand and his fingers become tin, and yeah, I love that. I love it so much. And then the moment where he's hacking down the door, oh, it's scary. And before that happens, of course, Marissa Bode, she sings "We Deserve Each Other," and she has tears in her eyes. It's extremely heartbreaking. I really love it. I like that scene. I do. I of course wish she was a more powerhouse vocalist than she is, but I'm not going to hold that against her. I think the way that they did that scene was really compelling and heartbreaking and scary. Oh my gosh, the Tin Man is freaking horrifying. He almost seems like he's about to chop Nessa Rose's head off, and then he goes to find Elphaba, and it's really sad. It's really sad, and I love the Bach character arc. I think Ethan Slater did it in an excellent way. He went from being, super in love with Glinda. He gave her his heart, and then boom, he's heartless. He wants to kill the witch. I love it. Oh, we should probably also talk about that in the movie adaptation, Nessa Rose flies as opposed to walking. I think it's a nice moment. I'm really glad that they didn't allow her to walk. I think that would have sent the wrong message. They did that because it's not necessarily PC to be like, she has to overcome being in a wheelchair, and that's like her perfect end. So I think I like the fact that they just did the walking and they made her happy. That was like the thing. She was like, she came to raise my spirits. It's not quite as permanent as now being able to walk, but I still think it works in the scene. And then, she steals the book and tries to make Bach fall in love with her. Like, Jesus, Nessa Rose, like, she's just so ridiculous. I don't like her. And Marissa Bode did a great job in her acting. She really did, like, very, very well. I just wish she was a better singer. But the "we deserve each other" moment, heartbreaking. Like, she just wants to be loved by Bach. It ain't gonna happen, girl, because he loves Glinda. And guess what? Now he's heartless. How could you be so heartless? Okay. Anyways, somebody needs to make that edit on TikTok of like Wicked Witch of the East X Heartless. Okay, so next, Elphaba now knows about the wedding. She gotta go. She gotta go get her man. Now, what she really needs to do is she knows everybody's gonna be at this wedding. She needs to make her point known. Make everybody know that the wizard has no powers. He can't read the Grimoire. He's not who he says he is. He is a fraud. So Elphaba goes over to Oz, and I love that scene where she appears on Glinda's balcony, and I love when Glinda's so protective. I love their friendship so much. She's like, get him before the wickeds find you. They run inside. They have a moment, and Glinda's like, come on, come be with us. We can change this together. Elphaba's like, no, I'm going to the wizard. Disappears, reappears in the wizard's lair. And she's, trying to coerce the wizard to tell everybody that he has no powers. And that's when we get into wonderful. They'll call you wonderful because the wizard gives her what she wants, which is releasing the monkeys. Now, the monkey moment, OMG. I thought those monkeys were going to come out and immediately kill everybody. Like, I was like, why are we releasing the monkeys? But that is also one of my favorite choices, as we have greatly expanded on this plot line of the animal rights. I love the fact that at no point are the animals harmful. They want to inflict no harm on anybody other than the monkeys who have been trained to do so, but like the ones who know Elphaba and who are, I guess, still have like some ability to think for themselves. They don't want to cause pain. Even whenever she releases all of the other animals, which is an iconic scene, amazing scene. I love that. The animals just run past the wizard. They probably trample him a little bit, but they don't. When that snow leopard came out of its cage and was growling, I was like, oh, wizard's about to die very early. Like, we're killing the wizard, I guess. No, they just ran past him. I'm like, wow, that is such a nice moment that is unexpected. But they did run into the wedding. Okay, first we have to talk about Wonderful, though. I love what they did with Wonderful. They actually made it a really, really good song. Visually, I love all of the little knickknacks and fun creations that the wizard has. It's a little crazy for me to believe that Glinda actually is so naive to think that Elphaba is going to side with them if they just give her what she wants. No, Elphaba is not going to take one thing and move on and be like, yay, now I'll work for Oz. I'll work for Madame Morrible and the wizard. No, Elphaba's not going to do that. And she wants everybody to know who this fraud is. She doesn't want people to be lied to anymore. She just knows. She knows that these people are horrible. I love that moment when she says to the wizard, you are a bad man. Yeah, he is. He is a bad man. He doesn't care for anybody but himself. Little does he know, his daughter is standing right in front of him. So yes, I love Wonderful, love the magic elements. It's really cute, really sweet. I love the dance moments. They do a little Oz's ballroom sequence with the shoulder move and the little wave on the forehead. Very, very cute. Love the callback to that. Visually, it's super duper stunning. But yeah, then we get into the wedding. Elphaba releases the animals because the wizard is the worst. And boom, the wedding is happening. They hear a little commotion. What could it be? Glinda looks beautiful. I really don't feel like her dress is what Glinda would actually wear to her wedding. Though it was beautiful, I just feel like Glinda would wear something way bigger and more of a statement. So I'm kind of was surprised by like the small white silhouette, although they did add more to the skirt for the actual wedding. Just felt like it would have been more, but that's okay. I feel like the visual focus was more so like the setting of the wedding, like with the beautiful gold butterflies on the aisle and all of the pink flowers and a very handsome Fiero Prince Tigolo standing at the altar like, oh, what I would give. Very cute. I love the violinist that's in the swing, and then boom, here come all of these animals. And Fiero says, hide, or something to Glinda. He like is protecting her, which is really sweet. But the animals, they're running through. We got a giraffe, and I love the guy in the swing with the violin is like, whoa, and he falls down. That's just really funny. I gotta say, in some of these action scenes, I wish we were a little more focused on like one thing at a time. It kind of felt like they just wanted so much commotion to happen that you kind of don't know where to look. That's all right. This is not in the musical version at all, and it was really cool to get to see what their wedding would have looked like. And yeah, it was epic. And then after that, Elphaba's here, Fiero's done, and we really get started, guys. This is where the musical really starts. I'm how long am I into this? Forever? Yeah, we're about 30 minutes in, and the musical has started right now. This is the moment where my heart rate starts beating really fast because Fiero chooses Elphaba. Guess what? It finally happens. He's pointing his gun at Elphaba, and then boom, he points it to the wizard. He takes the broom off of the wizard's neck. He throws it to Elphaba. That's the moment. That's the moment for me. I love that moment. It's so cute. God, what Jonathan Bailey can do with his face when he is acting, like he has got me in the palm of his hand. Okay, so so then Glinda walks in and everybody sort of realizes what's happening. He is protecting Elphaba, pointing the gun at the wizard. Oh my God. And he says, I'm going with her. Yeah, you are, Fiero. Yeah, you are. Glinda is shocked. Glinda is so sad. She tells him to go, and then she lets the wizard out of the cage that Fiero put him in, and then she gives Madame Orville and the wizard the bright idea to use Elphaba's sister. Spread a rumor, she says. She doesn't say have a house fall on her. She says spread a rumor. And then she doesn't know what she does. And Fiero and Elphaba leave, and I love the moment when they're leaving and he like goes in and he wants to kiss her and she like walks right past him. It's like, yeah, Elphaba means business. She is focused on the prize. She's like, let me get you back to my grotto real quick, and then we can sing As Long As You're Mine, get this party started. But before we get to As Long As You're Mine, we of course have the I'm Not That Girl reprise, and I love it. I think it's so understated. It is so personal. In a very beautiful way. She is just walking through her wedding. Visually, it is stunning. She is amidst all of the chaos and all of the mess, and she is heartbroken. And she sings, I'm Not That Girl, and she almost whispers it. In the musical, I think it is such a bigger moment. It's a very sad and harrowing moment, but I love that Ariana, and this is one of those moments where I'm like, I'm so proud that we have live vocals. In that moment, she just felt like, you know, she's like, there's a girl I know, he loves her. Like, she just speaks it. And I'm like, this is when I know Ariana is not, like, she is Glinda. Like, she is not doing this to be a pop star and get her name out there. If she were, she'd be like, he loves her so I'm not that that girl. Like she would have put her whole Ariana Usi into it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's very sentimental and very authentic. And I love it. Now we're into As Long As You're Mine. Broadway Besties Down. This is my most anticipated song of Wicked for good. Okay, I do have some notes. I really do. It's so good. I love it. I love the vocals. Let me tell you, visually, not too pleased with it. Vocally, it's amazing. I'm obsessed. So what I mean by that is, for one, I hate that we don't have the transition. The transition from I'm Not That Girl reprise into As Long As You're Mine on the soundtrack is the best 10 seconds of any musical theater ever written. I stand by that, okay? I'm not that girl. Bum, 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 bum. Wait, that's not it. Wait. I'm not that girl. Do. Is that it? Why do I feel like I'm not? Okay, y'all know what I'm talking about. It is the best, most beautiful, most splendid, effortless transition sound. We didn't get the transition. I am disappointed in that. I can't lie. Basically, what happens instead is they are walking into the grotto. They're talking a little bit. And she's like showing him around. This is where I've been living. And he's looking around. She starts to take off her dress. He starts to take off his coat. Lindsay's heart rate is going up. Okay. And then we begin. And then a music video starts. This is one of my biggest grievances. I do feel like a lot of our musical numbers, instead of being made to fit into the movie, were more so intended to be watched as a 4-minute music video on YouTube. And I really think they did that with As Long As You're Mine, because they don't start together. We start with Elphaba walking alone. She's talking about Fiyero. Why don't you look at Fiyero when you're talking to him? Why don't y'all be together? Kiss me too fiercely. She's walking alongst a wall by herself. Hold me too tight. No, she should be looking at Fiyero. And then it's okay. It's okay. It's still beautiful. She sounds incredible. Visually, it is very pretty, but I just would prefer it be different. I need help believing you're with me tonight. He picks up a paper. He's looking at the propaganda, and he is overcome with a need to say that you are beautiful, because he's seeing all of this information that she has been fed, that she is this wicked witch, that she's horrible. He looks at her. You're beautiful. She says, you don't have to lie to me. And he says, I'm not lying to you. It's about looking at things differently. Stunning. And then the music builds. It takes a lot longer than in the musical version. There's like a whole extra 6-bar cut. Okay. And then he gets into, maybe I'm brainless. I love the way he sings it. He is singing it so whimsically and like spellboundy. He's like, maybe I'm wise. You got me seeing through different eyes. He sings it like a British person, like different, like love it. The only thing I don't like is I really like, in the musical is like, somehow I've fallen under your spell and somehow I'm feeling is somehow. Okay, guys, why am I singing so much? I'm not a singer. Okay, I should stop. Okay, there's more runs in the musical version and they opt out. So that I found every moment, right? Okay, I love that. I love that. Ooh, he doesn't do that. He doesn't opt out. He's like, it's some that I found every moment. It's just like a little lackluster, but it's okay because that is what he was pushed to do as his character in that moment. Live vocals once again. I can't be mad at the live vocals. It's okay. But I do love his, like, I love when he goes, you got me seeing through. Oh, wait, no. Somehow I've fallen under your spell. Ooh, I love that. Somehow I've fallen under your spell. He like looks at her and he's like giving her the eyes and it's like all mysterious. Like, woo, I'm feeling it. Okay. So now she is in her lingerie. Okay. Elphaba, we see you. I love the lingerie moment with like the gray wool robe. It is hot. I love it. And now they are walking together, feeling each other's vibes, and they soar up into the air together at the chorus of As Long As You're Mine. It's very nice. And then they cascade down slowly onto the bed, and they are in the signature As Long As You're Mine stance, where they are facing each other, like both on their knees and like holding each other. I love that. I love that pose. That is so nice. I'm so happy that they did it. I wish they would have done it as long as they do in the musical version, but it's okay. They had to make time for them to fly in the air together, which was nice. I liked that. Okay. I haven't looked at my notes in 20 minutes. Okay. Yes, like I said, the harmonies are freaking They're so juicy. They're so buttery. I love them so much. Their voices paired together sound incredible. They both look so hot. This is amazing. I love it. Yeah, I have some issues. Yes, I think it looks like a music video, but all in all, freaking fantastic. Uh-oh, a storm is brewing. Madame Morrible, of course, she be on her Madame Morrible shit, and she starts a big tornado. Big, you guys. I love the cinematic moment of this humongous tornado completely wrecking the towns, wrecking their flower fields. Somehow they're fine the next day. I don't know how. And since Bach ran off as the Tin Man, he's still running. Nessa Rose is looking for him. Here comes his house, falls on her. Nessa Rose, kaput, she dead. And Elphaba jumps up and she's like, oh my God, I need to go get my sister. She runs off. She says, Fiero, stay here. Yeah, right. Fiero's not going to stay there. You should have taken him with her. No. She doesn't. She flies to go and find her sister. When she gets there, Glinda's already there. She's saying, bye-bye, Dodo. Hurry up and get out of here, darling. That's so cute. And then Glinda goes and has a moment looking at Nessa Rose, very sweet. And then, boom, Elphaba appears. Can I have a moment with my sister? Guess what she never does? Shed a tear. She never cries about her sister being dead. That's crazy. Maybe she was crying when she was on her broom on the way over. But I'm just like, in this mystical place we call Oz, do people not cry? Because 2 people are assumed dead in this movie and nobody ever cries. It's weird to me. I can't lie. Like, these are people, they're your family. They're the people you love. And you don't cry. Whatever. All right, I guess that's not a thing. Oh, hey, maybe it's to keep up appearances that if she has water on her, she will die. A single tear could kill her. Maybe that's it. All right, I'm going to feed myself that so I resolve this plot hole for myself. Okay, she's pissed off at Glinda. She's like, you did this. Do you not realize? Of course, Madame Morrible did this. You're being so naive. Like, Glinda, girlfriend, you are so naive. You should be smarter. I'm just saying. And then we have the cat fight coming on. Cat fight was great. I love the wand and broom fight. Really cute, really exciting, really funny. Get over here, Greenie. I love it. And then, Fiero's here. The guards are here. Fiero has potentially, I really think this might be the best scene in the entire movie. He points his gun at Glinda. That made me so sad. Once again, Jonathan Bailey's face. He says so many words by just his emotions. It's incredible. He's pointing the gun at Glinda. The guards have Elphaba. He's like, if you want to stand by and watch Glinda the Good be killed, then, or if you don't want that, I guess, then you should release Elphaba. He tells Elphaba to go. And then the guards get Fiero, and then, we are in the heat of it. I love the moment where he looks at Glinda. He says, I'm so sorry. Elphaba leaves him. Elphaba, why the flying monkeys were there? Why didn't you just get everybody to overcome the guards right there? Why did you fly away? I guess she thought a spell could cure this better than her powers directly to the guards and the flying monkeys, because now they're going to beat Fiero. And Glinda says back to Fiero, and he says, I'm so sorry. Glinda says, it's okay, he just loves her. And then they take him away. Glinda tries to fight and stop them. She can't. They take him away. No good deed. Okay, I gotta go see a show. I'm gonna be right back after I see the show, and we're gonna finish this little session. Okay, I'll be back. Hi, Broadway besties. Okay, I'm back. I took a little break. I'm not going to lie. I had tickets to go and see a matinee, Gruesome Playground Injuries, Nicholas Braun and Carrie Young at 2 p.m. I started recording this episode at 12, and it's definitely going longer than I planned. So I'm back. I had a set change. I now have the Munchkins from Dunkin' Donuts, the really cute Munchkin tin that's Wicked themed. And so we just took like a little, 3-4 hour break, and I'm back to break down No Good Deed. It was honestly a good transition moment for me to like go away and come back, because now I know exactly where I am. We're at No Good Deed. We're at the climax, my personal climax for this movie, and let's get into it. So, No Good Deed. She flies away on her broom. She's in her castle. The monkeys are there. Oh my gosh, she's going up an invisible staircase. This is crazy. She whips open the grimoire. Elkanamen, namen, namen, achimach, melkanamen. Now, if you're listening to the soundtrack, there is no big Fiero scream. But when you watch the movie, Glinda says, Fiero! woo! And then it cuts to the beginning of No Good Deed. Now, I'm really disappointed we didn't get the Fiero scream. I love that entry point of No Good Deed because it sets the motherfucking tone. It's so jolting. And I just love that moment so much. I'm really sad and disappointed it is not on the soundtrack, but whatever, because Cynthia delivers later on in humongous ways. So she's casting her spell. She is praying that Fiero will be okay and that he will live what is about to come to him. They put him up on the scarecrow like pitch, I don't know what to call it, and he's up there. Oh my gosh, and my heart breaks for Fiero. They are beating him, they are hurting him, they are harming him, and while she's singing No Good Deed, they are cutting to black and white clips of him being tortured. Ooh, I hate it so much, but we know he survives. Yeah. And then over the development of No Good Deed, she realizes that no matter what she does, all of her powers are not working, and she must intrinsically be wicked because everything she tries to do, every time she tries to help Nessa, Dr. Dillamond, Fiero, she does not do that note, but she goes high up and she opts up then. It's amazing, but I love this moment where Elphaba just thinks, I promise, no good deed will I admit to do again, ever again, because she just cannot do a good deed anymore. So she is committed to being wicked now, but she's not really wicked, but she thinks she is. I love this song so much. It is insane. It is a little Marvel-y, I have heard, because she is like flying around the castle, and it does look kind of like Iron Man a little bit, but I like it nevertheless. It's fine. I didn't actually think that. Somebody just said it, and I was like, you're kind of right, but also I still think it's beautiful. It's extremely dark and heart-wrenching. It's just like such a phenomenal song. It is the best rendition of this song I have ever heard, including the musical version. It's amazing. The way Cynthia just keeps topping herself, one opt up after another. She just continues to go for it until the ultimate end. No good deed will I do. I gotta stop singing. I just can't stop though. And then she's like, again. Y'all know, you hear it. It's crazy. Like she is, like, I don't think she has a range. Does Cynthia Erivo have a range? Does she go into auditions? She's like, I can sing from C to a B flat. Like, I don't believe there is a note on God's green earth that she cannot hit. She's incredible. This is amazing. And then at the end, whoosh, it's kind of like a let it go moment of like closing the door at the end of let it go. Bah! Like that's what No Good Deed gives. She gives a whoosh, and then when boom, we cut back into the wizard. He's like singing to his little train, and Dorothy and Dodo and the whole crew is there, and they are being sent on their quest to go and kill the witch. Now we are into March of the Witch Hunters, and this is it. Bach comes into his own. I love how he's like, it's due to her, I'm made of tin, her spell made this occur. For once, I'm glad I'm heartless. I'll be heartless killing her. Like, come on, that is ingenious lyricism. And he looks up at Glinda, and look, that is the moment where like, oh, Bach, knock, knock, knock. Nobody's home. He is genuinely heartless because he looks up at Glinda up on her terrace, and there is no love left in those eyes for the woman who once stole his heart. He is vicious. He is mad. And I love it. I live for it. I love however they did his effects. I'm so curious. I hope to see how they achieved that. I wonder if it was all makeup or somehow CGI. Whoa. The way like his eyes move within his tin face, it's haunting. All of the townspeople are just chanting to kill the witch. They have their pitchforks, they have their flags, they have their buckets of water sloshing left and right that say melt her, and they are headed to that castle. How they get up to that castle, no clue. I don't understand how they get up to that castle. Because the castle's like on a cliff and it's partially magically in the air. But no matter. They do get to the castle, and now Glinda is crestfallen. She sees that the entire town has turned against her best friend. She has no idea what to do, and so we have this introspective moment of her singing Girl in the Bubble. A beautiful girl Now, I really like this song. I'm pretty sure it's like one of the top streamed songs from Wicked for Good, which is crazy considering it's a new song, but it's also Ariana's shining moment. Just her solo on this track. It is a lovely song. I love the flashbacks to her childhood self, seeing the childhood reflection in the bubble. And in that moment, I love the character development of Glinda has been so naive. She believes she can have it all. She can have a friend who will be on her side and work with her. She believes that the wizard is not bad and that he can also do good. And to this point, I think she still has Madame Morrible on such a pedestal. And it is in this song where I think it all becomes clear to her of what she has to do. And at the end of Girl in the Bubble, she gets her cape. She gets what appear to be maybe Elphaba's shoes. Puts them on. She goes and gets Fiyera's horse. And she is the one who is riding the horse across the bridge. It has been Glinda all along. I have been wanting to know who that is on the horse. Of course, I've always assumed it was either Elphaba or Fiyero. It was Glinda this whole time. We first saw that galloping scene on the very first trailer. We have seen it at the end of Wicked Part 1. And now we finally know it is Glinda going to save her best friend, no matter what. She arrives at Elphaba's castle and she's just like trying to protect her. And she lets her know that they're coming for you. You need to hide. And Elphaba's like, I have a plan. Elphaba has been yelling at Dorothy, who's in the basement. She said, get those shoes off your feet. Those belong to my sister. And Dorothy's like screaming in the basement. Anyways, close the door. Forget about Dorothy for a while. And then, Chistry comes over and Chistry hands Elphaba this piece of fabric that I guess symbolizes Fiyero. I don't really understand why. But Glinda's like, oh my gosh, is that Fiyero? Once again, no crying. They assume Fiyero is dead. No crying. And at this point, Elphaba also, I thought Elphaba knew that Fiyero wasn't dead at this point because I thought Elphaba like planned this so that it was all just so Glinda would think that he was dead. But I don't think Elphaba planned this because we'll get to it later on. I figured that out. But yeah, so they both think Fiyero, their shared love is dead. And they're both just like, okay. I'm sad, but we have to move on because I'm about to be killed too. But I just think, if I found out my loved one died, I would probably shed a single tear at least. Anyways, I guess they don't cry in Oz. That's one of my takeaways. So then we get into For Good, and that is when the iconic moment happens. Elphaba says, I'm limited. Just look at me. Not with your eyes, but with theirs. Iconic, new line. I don't know. People love it. I don't really care that much about it, but it's fine. It's cute. It's a good line. I'm limited. And then they sing For Good. And let me tell you guys, I have my grievances with a lot of the way these songs are being done visually, just because I feel like they're done more in a music video style rather than in an altogether movie style. But I am so glad. I feel like they did not do that at all with For Good. They kept this real. They kept the focus to be on these two's incredible friendship. It really was beautiful. I just kept thinking the entire time how hard it must have been for these two to sing this song to each other and make it through it, because these lyrics are just so meaningful. They are so beautiful. And I just feel like they kept the focus on the lyrics and the relationship, and there was no extra fluff surrounding For Good. It was really beautiful, extraordinarily moving. And then what happens after For Good is even more moving. I love this song. I'm really pleased with it and the way that they did it. And then after, Elphaba says, okay, Glinda, I need you to hide in here. And she puts her in a closet and they look at each other and they each say, I love you. Oh, that hit me in my heart. Like that is one of my favorite moments of the entire movie. And then Elphaba closes the door, Glinda's hiding, and they both just like take 15 seconds and just sob at what's about to happen. And then we have the sequence where Dorothy throws the water on Elphaba and Elpha lets out a, I'm melting. And then Dorothy, I love the shadow sequence. It's very authentic to the musical version of Wicked. And we see cute little Dorothy raise up the broom and then run away. And Glinda assumes that her best friend has died. Now, this is a plot hole for me, because Fiyero knew that throwing water on Elphaba would not kill her. Wouldn't Glinda have known that too? I don't know. But doesn't matter, because in this moment, Glinda goes out, she has a moment, hugs the hat, and then she sees the bottle, picks up that bottle, and the wheels start turning. And I also love at that moment, it mirrors how Wicked Part 1 starts, with the hat sitting there and like the steam and the fog and the water. It's nice. But Glinda realizes, I've seen this bottle before. She comes into her strength in a beautiful way. She gets her butt back to the Emerald City. She walks up to the wizard and she says, "Here you go, Mr. Wizard. Elphaba had this bottle. It belonged to her mother." Oh, flashback time. We get to see young wizard, young Jeff Goldblum's face coming in, have another drink, beauty. And we see her drink the green elixir. And it all becomes clear to Mr. Jeff Goldblum that he is Elphaba's father. And he just touches his mustache. Oh. It's fine. It's fine acting. I just thought it was like a little comical, a little like Jeff Goldblum shtick to just like be like, oh gosh. And his whole reaction to knowing he had a daughter this whole time is just to touch his mustache. And Glinda says, "All right, you got to get out of Oz now. Bye-bye." And he's like, "What will I tell everybody?" She says, "I don't know. You're good at lying. Why don't you make something up?" And then she waltzes out. She sets her crown on her head. And did y'all see those arms, those biceps that Miss Ariana has? I liked that. She is the epitome of strength in that moment. She goes to Madame Morrible and she says, "Hi, why don't you look outside, see what's going on out there? Oh yeah, the wizard's headed back. And guess what? We have a lot of new cages that have just become available, and I think you would fit just fine in them. Bye. Bye, Madame Morrible. Don't let the cage door hit you on your way out." We will not miss her. We will not. Okay, and next, Glinda needs to go to the people. She goes back to Munchkinland, and it is also just like the beginning of Wicked Part 1. She comes down in her bubble. She's in her beautiful pink lunch meat dress. I hate to call it that. It really is a beautiful dress, but it does remind me of lunch meat. And she's speaking to her fellow Ozians. It's exactly how we've seen before. And then right when it would go into the flashback of how they met at school, it comes back and she says, "Everybody, I want to be Glinda the Good." And then we get to see Elphaba. We're back in the castle. Fiyero Scarecrow with his wonky little ankle. He keeps like walking on his ankle because his straw can't hold him up. He knocks on the trap door and oh my God, Elphaba's alive. Water can't melt her. She's shocked. She says, "I thought you're alive. You're fine." And he's like, "Yeah, hey." I don't really understand. I think that they put this plan together. I don't understand why she doesn't know. How would he know she's down there? Maybe I need to see it one more time, but she's like shocked when she comes out. "You're alive." I'm pretty sure. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I'm sure there will be a lot of that. Let's be honest. So anyways, they share a beautiful moment and we get to see Fiyero Scarecrow's face. It's cute. I love it. It's a little scary, but that's okay. He's still precious. And then we re-say the line, "You're beautiful. You don't have to lie to me." It's not lying. It's looking at things a little bit differently. Very sweet. And then they walk off together. Oh, it's really sweet, you guys. And then we have a reprise. "I can say if I've been changed for the better." And we flash to Glinda, who is singing it on her balcony. And then we flash, oh my gosh, when they were talking about the far off land beyond Oz, we couldn't tell before, but it was foreshadowing that it was Elphaba and Fiyero walking in the land beyond Oz. Wow, in what looks to be like the Dune set. I love it though. It's very pretty. And Elphaba turns back. She sings her reprise. And Glinda on that terrace, the grimoire opens and it's glowing and it's ready for Glinda. to read the Grimoire and make Oz good again. Oh, I don't like ending it like that. I don't want to say that. And be Glinda the Good. Let's say that. So yes, that is how Wicked for Good ends. It is a picture perfect ending. How beautiful. Oh my God. I almost forgot the biggest part. And then we get the flashback. We get the flashback that we have seen so many clips of them running in this posy field, all the friends all together. And then Glinda whispers in Elphaba's ear, and it is a mirror to the original musical poster. That made me cry. That made me cry. Perfect ending. I love it so much. And everybody, that is your great big Wicked for Good recap. I cannot believe I did this. I cannot believe it took me that long to recap this whole movie. Oh my God. Is anybody going to listen this far? If you did, I need to know your thoughts. Please let me know either in the comments or wherever you're listening. Let me know what you thought of Wicked, because this has been a very long one-sided conversation. I want to know what y'all thought too. Let's talk about the characters. Okay, first off, Glinda and Elphaba, they were each phenomenal in Wicked for Good. I've been talking about them at length, no notes. Same for Jonathan Bailey as Fiyero, also incredible. I got everything I wanted and more out of his performance, let's be honest. Freaking incredible. Jeff Goldblum, another gold star to him. Wow, I love him as the wizard. First part, I was so unsure. I really thought I didn't like him. Part two, I'm like, okay, yes, you were just being Jeff Goldblum on a stage, it seems, but it actually really fits and it's working for you and it's working for me. And I love how much fun he had with this role. And it was kind of hard in a lot of moments to think that the wizard was like a bad person. But then like in some of the side moments, like whenever him and Madame Morrible are talking and Madame Morrible's like, we need to figure out how to get her back. How can we find her? And the wizard's like, well, now that the animals are free, I have no idea how we're going to do that. And it's just like, whenever the veil is like let down a little bit, you're like, oh wait, you are a bad guy. And yeah, he just was completely and utterly misleading. I think maybe the shining star of Wicked for Good, other than our leads, may have been Bach, Ethan Slater. He really came through. Absolutely incredible performance. It was very, very scary, very captivating. And like Bach's arc is one of the best ones because he goes from this like dorky, like really cute, like wants to be included sort of character to a friend, and he's a part of the group, and he kind of gets mixed up with Nessa and he doesn't know how to find his way out, but he's okay. He's gonna like try to be there and make it work, and then he realizes that's not enough. He needs to pursue Glinda because he's in love with her. And then of course things take an awful turn and he is left without a heart and he wants to kill Elphaba. He's amazing. He was really amazing. Bowen Yang was really, really great in this. We didn't see quite as much of Fei Fei. That's her name, right? Fei Fei? Shin Shin. I thought it was Fei Fei. Shin Shin. But I still, all of their little moments are just like so funny, and they kind of bring it into a little bit more like Gen Z coded humor, which I really like. Who else? Marissa Bode. I really, really loved her in Wicked Part 1. I just don't know if she had like the greatest talents to be Nessa Rose, but it's okay. I think her acting was really, really great. I just wish she had a bit more of a powerhouse voice. And I know there was an interview I saw of Ethan Slater and her, and Ethan like mentioned to her that he's like really proud of her because she was like really anxious to like sing around everybody. And it was kind of an awkward interview. I don't think she liked that he said that. But it colored my idea of her vocal abilities when he said that. I'm like, oh wait, maybe she isn't like a trained vocalist. But it's okay. I don't fault her for it. I think all in all, she was okay. Just not like 10 out of 10, like 7 out of 10. And then lastly, Madame Morrible. Michelle Yeoh, I don't need to go on. I really think she was horrible. She was like a glaring miscast in this movie musical. Just so awful. Like, seriously, I'm appalled by her performance. I cannot lie. I know that's so harsh, but I'm just really frustrated about that. Okay, yes, guys, that is all I have for you. That is this Wicked for Good ultimate breakdown from start to finish. Wow. I need to stop talking. My mouth needs a break. Like, it's starting to fall off because I've said so much. But this was awesome. Thank you guys so much for listening. You can find all things From the Mezzanine at fromthemezzanine.com. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at From the Mezzanine Broadway. You can become my personal Broadway bestie and have access to the bonus Beat Me at the Stage Door episodes. That's either on the Patreon, patreon.com/fromthemezzanine, or on Spotify. You can also unlock all of the bonus episodes, $5.99 a month, wherever you find it. Guys, this was so fun. I need to know what y'all thought of Wicked for Good. I can't wait to see it again. I'm definitely seeing it again over Thanksgiving, and I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you guys again. Y'all are the best, and I'll see y'all next Tuesday.